I'm sure you've all been to birthday parties or maybe, I don't know, maybe a baby shower or something, right? And when you get there, they serve you cake and everything, right? And you get really thirsty, and so you go looking for some water or whatever they've got there, and so you get one of those party cups, you know, one of these kind of things, right? You get one of these. You've all had one of these somewhere along the line, I'm sure, right? And so it's really disturbing sometimes when you maybe you got the cup first and you were enjoying the water or whatever it was, and you put it down, and then you went to get cake, and everybody else around you had already gotten their cake, and so you go and you get your cake, and you come back to your place, and you take a bite of the cake, and then it's like, ooh, I really need a drink. So you reach over and you grab your cup, and there's already cake crumbs in your cup. And so what we did at our house, we started putting our names on them so that we know whose was whose, and it makes it a little less likely that you get the wrong cup, you know. The problem is I've made bad choices with my cup over the years, you know. I put stuff in my cup that wasn't good. Let the dog drink out of my cup, you know. Bad things. And now unhealthy things are growing in my cup. And my cup looks like this. Truth is, it doesn't smell very good either. That's why I brought a plastic bag. Our lives are like party cups in a way, you know? We've done stuff over the years, and things aren't always good, and yet the cake is dry, and I need water. I need a drink. But my cup is a mess. I think you're familiar with Isaiah 64, verse 6, where it says, all our righteousnesses are filthy rags, or maybe filthy cups, right? You know Romans 6:23. Our righteousness is the wages of sin is death, right? Yeah. And so the scriptures tell us a little bit about the results of our cup. It says, upon the wicked he will rain coals, fire and brimstone, and a burning wind shall be the portion of their cup. In Psalm 11, verse 6. And then Psalm 75, verse 8. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red, it is fully mixed, and he pours it out. Surely its dregs shall all the wicked of the earth drain and drink down. If I had to drink the results of my cup, if I had to drink the results of my life, I'd be in trouble. How about you? That's our cup. And indeed, on the last night with his disciples, this was the cup. This was the cup that Jesus shrank away from as he knelt in that garden. This is the cup, my cup, your cup. This is the cup. That was in Matthew 26, verse 39, where he says, he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "Oh, my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." Isn't it incredible that looking at this, Jesus still went, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. Oh, wow. Fortunately, Jesus offers us another cup, doesn't he? Today we partake of that cup. Today we get to share in Jesus' cup. You see, Jesus' cup has never had anything in it that would hurt you. It's never had anything that would cause death. We read what his cup was like when it says, and he took the cup and gave thanks and said, take this, divide it among yourselves, for I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. The wine that Jesus gave to his disciples as a symbol of his shed blood, and what he had made at the beginning of his ministry at the marriage feast, what he had provided there was the pure juice of the grape. In the same way that there's no leaven in the bread, so there was to be no fermentation in the wine. Psalm 18 verse 3, I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. I'm not worthy. Jesus is. My life is a mess. Jesus is clean. He is worthy. And indeed, Revelation claims in chapter 5, it says, I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book, right? And to loose the seals thereof. And down in verse 9 and 10 it says, and they sung a new song saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. Who are we talking about? But Jesus, right? We're talking about Jesus. Why was he worthy? Why was Jesus worthy? Why am I not worthy? I've messed up my life, right? Why was Jesus worthy? Because in addition to having a pure life, in addition to being clean, it also says, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood. You see, Jesus takes his pure, clean cup and he puts his pure, clean grape juice in it and gives it to us as a symbol of his pure life given for you and I. He's worthy. He is worthy. Psalm 116 verse 13, I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord. As we come to this service today, it's not just bread and juice. It's not just common stuff. Yeah, we probably got it at Publix or someplace. Some regular people made this happen today. But there's more to it, isn't there? There's more to this than just bread and juice. This verse says, I will take the cup of salvation. This is emblematic of us taking again salvation from the Lord. that this is more than just juice. This is more than just bread. This is us saying yes to Jesus in our hearts again. Can you eat it as just bread and juice? Yes, but that's not the way it's to be done. Not if it's going to do you any good. If you want your cup to not look like this, if you want to drink from Jesus' cup, it needs to be from the heart. It needs to be from the heart. It needs to be saying again, Jesus, I recognize what I'm like. And that's why we do the foot washing service. Because as we go down there, we recognize that as we've walked about on this dusty earth, we've become a bit dirty. And truth of the matter is this one stinks too, so if you don't mind, I'll go put it in here, because I'm not into that. That's what we're saying when we go down to the foot washing service. We're acknowledging that we've messed up, that we're in need of the body and blood of Jesus, that only He is worthy and gives us His cup. Psalm 16, verse 5, O Lord, you are the portion of my inheritance and my cup. You maintain my lot. And of course, you know Psalm 23, verse 5, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Yes. In your bulletin today, you have a little extra flyer there that has a quotation on it. Are you with me? It says, and he took the cup and gave thanks and said, take this and divide it among yourselves, for I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. The wine that Christ gave to his disciples was a symbol of his own blood, and that which at the beginning of his ministry he provided for the marriage feast was the pure juice of the grape. As there was no leaven in the bread used, so there was to be no fermentation in the wine. Note that next sentence. Christ never places before anyone that which would be a temptation. He gives us only pure things. The sacramental service, what we are partaking of today here, was designed to be soul refreshing and life-giving. If you drink from this, it's probably not going to be life-giving. Yeah. You'd want to call 911 after drinking out of this bad boy. This is designed for life. You're not going to get a whole lot of physical sustenance out of this little bit of grape juice and that little square of bread. That's not the point, is it? We're talking about life of God. We're talking about life within. We're talking about spiritual life here. We're talking about you and your relationship with the divine. We're talking about renewing that relationship. Going down, having your feet washed, having in symbol your past washed away, done away with. We're talking about coming back here with those things washed away, partaking of the precious emblems, the pure emblems of the body and blood of Christ. We're talking about a renewal of life, spiritual life. A relationship with Jesus. This is your chance to renew that relationship. Jesus offers us his cup. In Matthew 26, verse 27, it says, "Then he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, 'Drink ye all of it.'" He wants each of us to have a relationship with him, a saving relationship with him. This service is your public confession that once again you need a new cup. Are you willing to make that confession today? Are you willing to say, "I need a new cup. I know this person over here needs a new cup. Whew! That's not what this is about. This is about RON. This one's got my name on it. It's a mess. I need the pure cup. This is your chance to confess once again that you need a new cup, that Jesus is your personal Redeemer. Not just for other bad people, but for me. That's what this is about. Seventh-day Adventists practice an open communion. We're not going to check your card before we give you a cup to see whether you're a card-carrying member. That said, sometimes our children are too young to understand what's happening here. If that's the case, Mom and Dad, give the deacon a little sign. Because we want each one who partakes of this to partake in a worthy manner, right? Understanding what this is about. Not just because, "Ooh, I want juice." Yeah, that's not what it's about. This is about an experience with Jesus. So if your little ones aren't ready, let the deacon know, okay? At the same time, sometimes we recognize that maybe we're not ready because we're not ready to give up our cup. If you're not ready to give up your cup, if you're not ready to say yes to Jesus, change my life completely, let it pass by. In other words, this is not just a ceremony that we've done a lot of times before, and here we are again. It's not what this is. Jesus himself has invested this with great meaning. Meaning that reaches deep in our hearts, yes? And I want you to experience that. Or let it go. And so we will dismiss in a moment to go down to the other building to have that foot washing, that time where Jesus knelt to wash the feet of the disciples. And Peter, as Jesus came to him, Peter said, "No, you're not going to wash me." And Jesus said, "If you don't wash, you're not a part of me." And Peter understood that this was more than just getting his feet wet. That's what this whole thing is about. This is more than just the symbols. This is talking about a relationship, an eternal relationship, and it should be. And so, with Peter, wash my hands and my head, right? We want to go all in with Jesus. So we'll go down for the foot washing as we return to this room. I invite you to return in reverence, to consider what Jesus did for us as he gave himself for us, to sit quietly, pray, and consider that this is the broken body and shed blood in symbol of our Lord and Savior.